I'm going to present our work, From Culture to Clothing, Discovering the World Events Behind a Century of Fashion Images. Our fashion choices are inevitably influenced by the current happenings. For example, if we look at the footwear sales in US last year, there's a big drop last March, which was when the pandemic started. A similar but different story is the sales for pajamas, which grew as much as 5-fold since the pandemic and the work-from-home era. The reason to all this is because people are really not going anywhere, so footwear is no longer that relevant to this new lifestyle, while pajamas became what people wear most of the time. If we look at those examples throughout our history, fashion is like a kaleidoscope that records and tells the story for human culture. The question we like to answer is, can we uncover this fashion-culture relationship in an automatic way? Our attempt to answer this question is to model cultural influence on fashion as predictability of future style trends. Say we observe that preppy is something that's trending right now and we don't know why. But if we have the knowledge that Harry Potter is also a popular subject and people are really inspired by the style in the movie, we will be able to realize that maybe people are wearing more British and preppy style clothing in order to become like the characters in Harry Potter. This knowledge can in turn help better predict the future trend of fashion styles. To do this at scale, we collect a vintage photo dataset from magazines, posters, or photoshots uploaded to Flickr spanning an entire 20th century and run clustering algorithms on the image's visual features to obtain clothing styles in this time period. For the source of happening in our world, we adopt news articles and run topic modeling on top of it to mine for the cultural factors that account for things like political climate, economic status, sports or entertainment, and so on. After that, we aggregate the popularity trends for both clothing styles and cultural factors. We measure how much a cultural factor influences a clothing style by calculating the amount of improvement made when including that trend of the cultural factor to predict the future trend of the style. Here is a concrete example. This clothing style is about wearing black in Tianjin, and its popularity trend is plotted as the blue curve. Let's look at how we can predict its future trend. The purple curve in the right block is the prediction made by a baseline that only considers the past history of this clothing style, which is hard to be accurate as the future trend is pretty volatile. However, this green curve is the prediction made when the model that takes the influencing cultural factors into consideration, and this time it follows closer to ground truth. We quantitatively evaluate our detected cultural influences on the trend forecasting task. The evaluation metric is the regression error, and lower is better. We compare against multiple baselines where the ones that make predictions based on shorter or recent time points are color-coded in blue, while those that are based on longer-term time points are in yellow. And our method that considers cultural influence outperforms all baselines on both datasets. Here are examples of discovered influences by our model. The left one is a topic about women working in metropolitan cities, and it may have influenced the kind of clothing style that our formal workwear with double-breasted buttons and blazer-like collars. The right one is a topic about wars and has peaks during World War I and II. The relevant clothing is utility wear, likely due to resource restrictions at war times. These examples are discovered influences from more recent fashion in the year 2013 to 2016. The left one is about environmental protection and wearing green in Seattle, and the right one is high-end fashion designers and wearing dresses in Paris. Altogether, this data-driven approach for uncovering cultural influence on fashion allows us to automatically create a fashion history timeline that looks like this one, which shows the iconic styles in each era, like the utility wear in the First World War, the flapper style in the 20s that were influenced by new music and dances, or dresses with more exposures in the 60s that were related to student protests on college campuses. For more details about our approach and result, please see our paper at this link.